era represent to you?
Well, I mean, we are celebrating the Diamond Edition of Come On Over. So it's like an event is sweeping over me right now. I mean, I'm on the Queen of Me tour. I'm going back to Las Vegas with the Come On Over residency. It's 25 years since Come On Over album was released. There's just so much going on. I guess it just represents longevity and celebration of successes that I didn't really get to celebrate in the craziness of the Come On Over, even The Woman in Me. I mean, ever since things took off, I mean, I've never really stopped. During that whole triple diamond period. So now I'm celebrating. It's almost like now I can breathe and really take it all in.
A couple of years ago, we spoke about The Woman in Me reissue, 25 years. And I asked you, I mean, pressures of a second album and what it meant for you in your career. But then I completely forgot about Come On Over and what the pressures that might have gone into that record, because you had so many people interested in you, so many people clamoring for new music, hoping you would tour behind Woman in Me. Was that the biggest risk musically for you?
That was the biggest risk of my career, because I was obviously and very wisely being advised that if you don't tour with The Woman in Me and keep those hits, you know, or take those hits to the next level, to the live stage, then, and you don't have any more hits, that could be it. That could be, you could slow yourself down. You could be, well, there were just so many reasons why it was not a good idea to not tour with that with The Woman in Me. But I was so determined to be able to get up there and do a 90-minute, at least a 90-minute show with all my own hits. And it took me into Come On Over to do that. So that was the reason why I waited. It was a risk. I don't even know if that was even it was probably not smart of me, but it turned out okay.
Queen of Me came out in the wintertime. It was like it was a perfect summertime record. So it had me thinking about summer when I first heard it. But what was the message you wanted to say to your fans with that? It was your sixth studio album, your first album back after surgery. What did you want to say to people who've been listening to you for, Shania, 30 plus years, a lot of your fans?
The Queen of Me album, I've nicknamed my happy album, because I used my songwriting more than ever before just to get into a happy space, just to enjoy laughing and dancing. I wanted to write things that made me want to dance around the studio or around the house, or just make me feel happy and bubbly. And I ended up using a lot of language that was quite literal in that way. So I wanted it to make me happy and make me feel good, and I wanted that to translate to the audience. So that was the goal. And when I do the music live, it's so that it's very fun. There's a lot of messaging in it on the inspiration level, but it's light.
How are the shows different now? When I talked to you in 2020, we didn't know, nobody knew what live music would be like, and concerts and coming back and communing with fans. So how is the first leg of Queen of Me? How's that been different for you to interact and be with your fans like that again?
I know from my perspective from the stage, I'm appreciating it more than I've ever appreciated live performance. And I don't know whether it's because we were isolated from it, that all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful that, we can do this again. I don't know if it's that. I can't really put my finger on it, but I'm loving it. So there's a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm grateful to get out there and be able to belt out my lyrics, and I'm enjoying the styling and the fashion more than ever. Like, I'm going nuts on this. It's like I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's really, really fun.
You really put yourself out there with the album cover and some of the album artwork. Was that liberating for you?
Oh, very much so, yeah. I'm a lot more comfortable in my own skin as I get older. Your body and your face is not going to look younger as you get older unless you get surgery. And I just rather be happy with what I see in the mirror. You know, I mean, it's probably why I'm having so much, fun with the clothing as well, because it's like, well, I'm enjoying shaping my body more, and I don't know, I think it's all about embracing who you are right now, right this minute, and not getting all bummed out about it every day.
I think back to your part of your story. You go from Deerhurst and you go to Nashville, and what that might have taken, the guts that would have probably taken. And I've never asked you about that and about the risk that was for you to do that in your career, and just what went through your mind making that decision, because you could have played it safe and stayed in Deerhurst, but you didn't.
Going to Nashville wasn't a risk. It's like I had nothing to lose. I mean, I had everything to gain and nothing to lose. So that was a no-brainer. And then the courage that it did take to go into the unknown, I think came more from knowing that I didn't really have anything to go back to. My parents were gone and the kids were going on with their own lives. I mean, what was my purpose now? I mean, it's to follow my dreams, my vision, to contribute something to the world and make something of myself.
Earlier this year, when you sang That Don't Impress Me Much, you replaced Brad Pitt's name with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so you're Ryan Reynolds. That don't impress me much.
But I actually don't know the story. Why did you pick Brad in the first place?
The song is all about these exaggerated, obviously the twisted humor. Of course, Brad Pitt is, stunningly impressive or impressively stunning. And of course, Elvis is the king of rock and roll. And so I was just having fun playing down the obvious. And he was so big in that very moment. There was a lot going on. He was in every tabloid magazine. He was just everywhere. So everywhere I looked, it was Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt. So it could have been anyone, but he was the one that was so in your face in that month that I wrote the song, or that little window. And then never would I've ever imagined. I mean, he's still in your face, and so the song kind of lives on in both ways. It's not like he became a has-been, or, he's still as present as ever.
Before I let you go, Ms. Twain, is there a feeling from you that you've got to get as much music out and play as many shows and play to as many people as you can, because you had the health scare a few years ago, and does that linger or weigh on your mind at all?
I don't look back at that. I am so grateful in many ways. I mean, grateful that we're on the live stage again. So that's a big contributing factor to the excitement and the energy that I've got right now. Sure, the voice, I'm like super excited about belting out, Come On Over, or whatever it is that I'm singing. And then creatively, I've had this buildup of creativity that I just have to put somewhere. So it's a really good swell of, I guess, energy for me and enthusiasm in my career. So for many reasons.